Hello YouTube, it's Rob. I wanted to read this to you. I don't know where these people come from, but it's funny how smug they act, and they act like they just know so much about science, and they try to put me, as the person who doesn't know anything. And it's always these mainstream science people, these believers in this, mainstream science. Anything that's on Discovery Channel must be true. Anything that NASA says has to be the absolute truth. I mean, these guys, they don't realize that they're victims. They're victims of manipulation, and because they go around calling other science pseudoscience, but then they don't realize that their science is actually the pseudoscience. I mean, I don't know where these guys come off at, saying the stuff that they say. Like this guy says, you're right. Nobody can disprove your theory because you don't have one. Is that right? Okay. All you have are some morphological similarities and at best an unfound idea based on pseudoscience. To be a theory, it must be a well sustained explanation of some aspect of the natural world that is acquired through the scientific method and repeatedly tested and confirmed through observation and experimentation. Your idea is none of those. And you know what, dude? First of all, you don't. You're none of that. You should be. You shouldn't even be talking, okay? Because you obviously don't know what you're talking about. Okay. What I'm using is satellite data, and what I'm showing you is observable evidence that shows that the current theory is wrong. Okay? Guess which one gets to change? You know which one has to change? It's not the observable evidence that has to change. It's the theory that has to change if the observable evidence doesn't support it. Okay? So right now, if we're playing chess, I've got the queen and you got the pawn, and I guess you just don't know it. That's the problem. Okay, I'm not the one on the. I'm not the one that's like below. I've got the power card. I've got the evidence, visual evidence that shows that plate tectonics is wrong, and it only takes common sense to see that. But apparently you lack it because you are brainwashed by mainstream media. It's like anybody who watches mainstream media, I feel sorry for you. I mean, it is like the most delusional source of information I've ever seen in my life. But yet these people believe it as if it was from God's mouth. Well, let me show you what what you claim are morphological similarities at best. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here's the Pacific Ocean, or well, they call the Pacific Plate in the Ring of Fire. Okay, like as if plates are the only thing that could possibly be responsible for this. Okay, just looking at this, okay, you could use common sense and you could see these lines here going everywhere. Okay, something big happened here. This isn't just a volcano. Because if you look right next to it, not only do you have lines that connect these areas together, which seems to be overlooked by modern science, but you got these scars, these huge scars on the Pacific bottom. Okay? When you have scars this big, it's usually important. It means something happened. The tide didn't do this, put it that way. Okay? Okay, here we have a subduction zone, right? The Eurasia plate here, Pacific plate supposedly sliding under this plate because supposedly this plate's heavier than this one with the mountains all over it. Um, okay, so if this plate is going this way, there's no way. Okay, when it's going this way, it's actually getting destroyed as it's going underneath, which it just looks like it's sliding. It doesn't look like it's ramming into here and just diving, into the molten magma below. They look like they're just laying on top of each other, just like this looks like it's laying on top of here, because you can see this going underneath it. All right. So anyways, what I propose, and this is just from my visual, just looking at this, I don't see it like the way they say it is. What I'm seeing is that this was the outer layer at one time of the planet, and then it increased in size and it busted through, ripping it open. Okay, and then as it increases in size, this outer layer slides this way, and as this increases, it's getting bigger and this is sliding back. Okay, during a cataclysm. Okay, at the current time, it may look like this plate is going underneath this one, only because it's backtracking because the planet's cooling down. Okay, there's other ways of seeing things besides just believing what they tell you to see. This could be backtracking, okay, just for the moment until the next cataclysm that increases this planet's size happens. And then this is a rupture, expanding out. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Well, if I can line any of this up beyond this subduction zone, right there, that's observable evidence that proves plate tectonics is wrong. It's that simple, pal. I don't need to go take chemical tests of the layer. I don't need to drill down into the plate. I don't need to bore a hole or detonate a nuclear bomb or some kind of testing procedure to figure out what I can see with my own eyes right here. If I line these up over here, plate tectonics is finished, no matter what you think. Okay, that's just common sense, right? Well, let's get to it. Okay, this is an overlay of this area. It's turned a little bit, but that's for a reason. Okay, here's that subduction zone over here. This is beyond that subduction zone. Let me take a, let's see here, not that one. Okay, first of all, I want to show you this underlying lines here, and this thing right here, which is obvious, this thing, a recurring pattern of it. Here's the Hawaiian island chain and scarring. Okay, here, I gotta get, I'm setting this up here. Okay, so here we go. We got this part right here. You can see that it lines up pretty good, actually. And if that lines up, then it should line up in other areas. It's hard to get the... Okay, you can see that this is moving through, I guess. Pacific plate scarring right here. You can see that, right? There's no doubt about it. Look, I get as close as you want. You can see that they're the same distance apart. These ripples. There's a circle. We'll bring it in closer. It's going to line up. It always lines up. You see this hole there, this circle here? Okay, that's not similar. That's pretty much exact. That's like a fingerprint. See, look, anybody that's watching this can see that I'm not exaggerating here. There's no lie. I'll line this up here, and you can see these dots following these other filaments areas, these ripples. You can see that they match exactly. They match exactly up here. You can see that these are the same thing. There's no, this is like a fingerprint. At a crime scene, this is a 100%, a solid evidence. And it's visual evidence. It's the best kind of evidence, unless you can't trust your own eyes, I guess. Then maybe you shouldn't be watching this. But you can see how this lines up here. I want to make sure that everybody gets the point that this lines up. I guess I've been rushing a lot of my videos, so I get a lot of people, well, a lot of friends of mine, they don't understand what I'm saying because I rush through it, and I don't take the time to show you these exact alignments. They're exact. There's no maybe. That's the thing about confidence. If you see something and you see it is, then it's okay to just go ahead and go with that. It is what it is. That is lining up perfect. It will do this all day long because it's the way it was. Okay, and then you see how it fits in over here. My whole theory, which that guy says I don't have one, apparently I don't have one, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you mine anyways. It's about reoccurring patterns. That's what the whole giveaway on how this planet was created. These reoccurring patterns. There aren't reoccurring patterns in plate tectonics, so this is just a part of your imagination apparently right now. But as you can see, it lines up. When I move it over here, it's lining up because it's reoccurring patterns. They're reoccurring constantly because this thing right here is spinning like a drill sideways. And I showed you that with the mountain range in South America being the culprit. This isn't a volcano. Volcanoes don't make giant waves. These are like giant. If these were ocean waves, they'd be bigger than a tsunami, but they're not. They're actual, land. So that tells you how much force was going on here. This is a lot of magma, that giant tsunami-sized tidal waves of giant magma. Could you imagine? Just from because they got this rotating like a boat prop, how it spins and it causes a wake and vortices, and that's what you got going on here. It's spinning and it's shooting out the back. Okay, it just common sense can tell you this. And then you see this whole little, look how the details I can get to right here. You see these holes or circles or whatever. You see that? This can't possibly mean I'm wrong when they line up that good. You see that? And let me go back to what he said. You're right. Nobody can disprove your theory because you don't have one. Really? Well, what was all that I just showed you? It looks like I just discredited yours, though. All you have are some morphological similarities. That's all I have? Are you sure about that? Morphological similarities. Yeah, I don't think you're right about that, dude. I think actually you're delusional. And at best, unfounded ideas based on pseudoscience. Right. Since when did observable evidence become pseudoscience? Your NASA's actually pseudoscience. They make up stuff like dark energy, black matter, dark matter, black holes. None of that stuff they can prove, but they just keep looking for them, don't they? Yep. that came out of their heads. This is visual. This is observable. Okay, you're the pseudoscience, dude. I wish you guys would understand that. When you really logically think about it, you're the pseudoscience. You just think that because mainstream media is on your side, that somehow you're right. Well, if you actually researched your own beliefs, you'd find out that you're absolutely wrong. But then again, that's why beliefs are beliefs and not truths, right? So how would you know anyways? And your scientific method, yeah, what a joke, dude. You guys don't even know it. Well, I don't mean you guys. I mean this guy doesn't even know what scientific method is. Actually, he doesn't know anything about deductive, theories and stuff like that. So obviously. So, anyways, let me get back to what I was gonna do. Let me finish him off. But one last thing though about this, what really is annoying is the disrespectfulness. This guy comes off at him and the other guys. They come off like so disrespectful, and they have no idea what they're talking about. And that's just annoying. I mean, it's so freaking annoying to have somebody like that spout off. So I don't mind putting you in your place. Okay, let's look for more of these morphological similarities that are everywhere. By the way, see, there's one right there. Then there's this one, of course. This looks like Hawaii if you were to fold it in half, right? And this would swing that way. There's something to think about. That'll be in my other videos. Okay, so, and then you see this, some more similarities apparently. Man, there's a lot of similarities. But it gets better. Because when I rotate this, you can see that this fits also here. And that this kind of fits in here. And then when that fits into there, you can see that this fits into here better. This whole thing has been, it's rotating, by the way, or the planet's rotating, and this is standing still, one or the other. But you can see that this will rotate into that. There you go. You see this? Here's that overspill that I keep talking about. This is a reoccurring pattern of the Himalayas, and this is the overspill that made the surface. It helped make the surface features too. Uh, you can see that it looks like a waterfall kind of, but it's actually going over these Himalayan mountains. And of course, these same scarring on the supposed Pacific plate line up here. See how it fills in? See that? And then there's other alignments that when that lines up, then there's always other alignments somewhere else too. You see how that lines up here? And I've showed this to be also the tip of the southern tip of South America. But see, basically, it looks like everything goes back to one incident. Here. See the eye? Well, there's another one over here. Where'd it go? Somewhere over here. Yeah, there's an eye in here, but this one's more obvious. But the eye, there's a lot of eyes. See that? But okay, so I don't want to take too long on this, but I definitely want you guys to see what I'm saying. I don't want people to leave here thinking that maybe these lined up. I want you to know for a fact that these lined up. Okay, you can see the alignments here. They're moving, but they're alignments. You can see the alignment there. Okay, now for the next there you go. There's a nice alignment there of the Himalaya mountains. Okay, so with that said, okay, I rotated it. Let's bring it closer so we don't miss anything. You see this alignment right there? Let me back up. For some reason it seems easier to see when I back out. Okay, right there. And then you can see this going across. You can see how it follows these lines. It seems to follow the grooves. Right there, you see that? It's not a coincidence. See, look at this right here. This is the Hawaiian island chain, by the way, on the Pacific, from the Pacific Ocean, and it's sitting on top of the Eurasia plate, or and it's lining up everywhere. See, watch it bring it here. Boom. More of that overspill. This also fits in the Himalayas, as this seems to be sweeping through. Here, let's get closer, because you're not going to want to miss this. See how it follows the ripples again? We got this lining up over here, by the way. I don't want you to miss anything. I want people, when they leave this video, I want you to know for sure. You can see how this thing is probably rotating, by the way. The whole island chain is probably spinning, is what this is about. That's what I would guess. So you see how it's moving here? Here, let's get closer, man. I'm sure there's more here to see. Look how it fits that. The width fits that. Fits in there. You see that? Fits in there. Fits in there. Fits in there. Fits in there. Fits there. You see that? It's because it was rotating and it made this indentation. That's what it did. You can see that. Nothing fits that good that many times. And this shouldn't even be fitting here, according to plate tectonics. This is what I'm showing you. Plate tectonics, look at that right there. See how it fits everywhere? This is absolute proof, 100% proof that plate tectonics is wrong. There's no way that plate tectonics can explain any of this. Look, you see that shape right there, when I rotate this, it's going to line up perfect. I guarantee. Look, I just need to rotate a little bit more. There. See it fitting right here? Can we agree that that fits in there? Now this is where it gets interesting, because if you noticed, this is facing the wrong way for this. That can only mean one thing. It can only mean that this was also reversed at one point too. It's tumbling. It's like it's not just spinning. This is doing a lot of things. Look, so this is, look, it's turned the other way now. And lo and behold, okay, and then you got that, and then look, here we go, the Himalayas here with this. This is all one event. This can only be, this is the leftover track of this. And then here's our overspill that I keep telling about. And this again is going to line up because these are the same thing. This, if I take this, it's going to fit into here. Let's see if my prediction is right. See, with a theory, your theory has to also predict something, you know, in order for it to be, you know, worth something. So here is that Hawaiian Island part, and sure enough, you can see how it fits in there. I mean, it just does. It probably is going to rotate, I think, is what the deal is. But you can see that it fits in there. Oh, gosh darn it. You can see it. The Hawaiian Island chain is actually Birkeland currents too. They're the just parts of it, bits of it, like, you know. But that's what this is. You can tell it's a Birkeland current related because you can see that this is wrapping around another. It looks like this is being squeezed right here. You can see this coming through. It looks like this is squeezing it as it wraps around, and that's what, from what I heard, that's what Birkeland currents do. And this is what I'm telling you. See, that lines up there too. It just lines up. It's going to line up here, of course. See that? And you know that this, when you leave here, you should leave here knowing for a fact that plate tectonics has been discredited. It has been. What it claims is impossible for this to do this. Therefore, it can't be right. And that's the way science is supposed to work. If it doesn't support the observable evidence, it needs to change. You can't change the observable evidence. The theory has to change. You get it? That's how it works. Thanks for watching. And oh yeah, there's there's other alignments here too. I can go on for hours like this just with this area. So, but I'm telling you, plate tectonics has been proven wrong right here. Thanks for watching.